Femi, clearly not a pretty picture, but let's quickly run through all the sectors and then we'll look at what we need to advise our listeners as to what they need to do in terms of building their portfolio or improving their portfolio. Let's start with the first sector, agricultural sector. How's that been year to date?
The agricultural sector has naturally been in a decline from 2008 to today, and it's basically the same. Very few companies in the sector, not too much investment, with the exception of someone like a Presco.
Yes, I think Presco has really carried.
Is the only one carrying the whole market along the way.
The sector.
Yeah.
What about airline services again?
You know, it's a very funny thing. We don't have any major thing in there. I don't know why we still keep it in there. Anyway.
Okay, but so at least, but surprisingly, this is a sector that has only two companies there. But I think they've held their own, and I think I think one of them has done quite well. But
I think the challenges with the sector, basically as a business model, and not just in Nigeria, all over. And so you find it's operating in a restricted marketplace in terms of the fundamentals. Who wants to put more money in that stock?
Not too many people.
Not too many people.
Automobile and tire, surprisingly, we still have companies like Dunlop, Inca, and Archie Briscoe here.
Unbelievable. In 2008, this automobile and tire was also one of the better performing stocks there. It's always been there. It's always been able to do it. But then,
I don't know. It's interesting when you go through this and you find out that there's really not much. The next sector is aviation. What's there? There's only one stock there.
One stock there.
I don't know. It's a reflection of what's going on. Banking. I think that's why everybody talks about banking, because it dominates it. And I think we've talked about
we've talked about it, but there's something interesting about the banking thing is that the wait and see for September 30th presents a new issue entirely. Whether you like it or not, it will still remain one of the key sectors, but it's only a sector more suited for short trades.
Yeah.
So if you look at it, you just find some short buzz. The volatility is highest in that sector, and it also works well for you.
Short trades.
Short trades.
BREWRIES.
Oh.
Surprise, yeah.
The breweries industry has a correlation with the Nigerian economy. They always say that whether you are happy, you drink, whether you're sad, you drink. So it has a kind of elastic type demand. But in terms of performance, there hasn't been much more than enough. But he's been holding his own and doing very well. About one of those other stocks that most people would consider value stock, and will still remain a key stock in the market.
So a definite part of your portfolio, this one.
Exactly.
Next thing we have here is building materials. There's nothing going on much here. Ashaka, BCC, CNN, WAPCO, Nigerian Cement, Niger Ropes, Niger Wire.
But funny enough, that is a sector that is definitely a sector to watch and a sector to be in. Why? If you're going to do those developments that Nigeria need, this is a sector that's going to benefit directly from any improvements in infrastructure in Nigeria. We need buildings, we need roads, and that's the sector for you there.
So definite go for here, building materials. And of course, the cement stocks actually dominate.
Exactly.
They dominate the market.
Ashaka, Cement.
Ashaka, Dangote. WAPCO traditionally, I think those three key stocks are.
And Lafarge will still be spending much more investment in his organization, so you still have to be interested in them.
Okay, next sector, chemical and paints.
Yeah, funny enough, since 2008, since the market went into downstream, the paints have been doing very well. Premier Paints, for example, in 2008 did extremely well, and they've always been there in the gainers. And so you find there are pockets of values in that, not as a sector, but there are specific companies there that represent pockets of values. And as you go on, you want to put them on a secondary list.
Commercial services, nothing much here. Computer office equipment, nothing happening here.
That's a trading business.
I think the Igbo traders have taken over this side and they are not listed. Conglomerates, what's happening to these guys?
Oh, the conglomerates.
Unilever, I think those are the guys. UCN, Transcorp, Score, PZ, John Holtz. I guess these are traditional blue chips of the past.
They're the companies that hold the line. And so you're basically a must include.
And they've done quite well also. So those are the traditional blue chips. Then construction stocks, we're looking here. Interesting here, Julius Berger, Multiserve, Rhodes, G Kappa, Costain Kappa, and Alberto Albrico. What's your take on this?
The construction businesses in Nigeria, they not only suffer a significant highs, and then you find very disturbing lows. In 2008, 2009, 2010, they've managed to keep steady. So if you want to do it in the second list again, companies to be in there, the companies are not giving fantastic performances, but then they would always be there. And so if you're looking for a short, you're not so greedy, and you just want some, in terms of returns, most astute, or should I say aggressive investors will not go in.
Okay, so, but Kappa and Alberto, Julius Berger holding their own.
Julius Berger will always hold his own.
Yes, Kappa trading at 95 Naira, JB at about 56. I think solid construction companies, but again, very tight sector. Engineering technology, doesn't seem to be much going on here. Another key sector, the FCMG, food and beverage and tobacco.
Oh, that is the sector to be. And that is the sector. It's fantastic. The news from that sector is quite interesting in terms of what the companies are doing, able to weather the storm, overcome the economic challenges, and continue to give value to the market and to their own, or to the shareholders. It must be a sector.
It must be. And then footwear, interesting. Leonard's, the only stock here, nothing going on here. Healthcare, interesting. A lot of multinationals here, but
it's not been. It's like I said, it's a function of the whole environment. It's not been something fantastic, but there are pockets of value. There's just one. What's the name?
Abosealdehyde.
No.
Aboselab.
Yeah,
I don't know. That stock has kind of rebounded from nowhere. I don't know what's happening with the company.
There's no information.
There's no information.
And so there must be something else about it.
Okay. And most of all the other companies, Evans Med. But it's interesting when you take a look at the healthcare industry, you find that most of the companies that import drugs into this country are not listed on the exchange.
For good reasons.
Okay. And what reasons are that?
And the general issues concerning the whole market and how it functions, it must not suit their business. And there's a whole lot of need to keep things very quiet to themselves, so the disclosure requirements may not be conducive for their business model.
Well, it's interesting. I hope, because the whole issue of fake drugs and all that kind of thing is unhanded. I think these are companies that, unfortunately, they were more functional. Then the issue of fake drugs cannot happen because their reputations are at stake.
If they were listed, that is. Yeah.
Yes. Hotel and tourism, not much going on here. Capital Hotels, Ikeja Hotels, again, not much here. Interesting. Industrial domestic products. What the sector? We have Alumaco, Vitafoam,
those are very, very.
First Aluminium.
Alumaco was better, First Aluminium Gold. In terms of, I think Vitafoam and Bono, there was an acquisition of some shares in Bono. Recently, you begin to see that that particular sector is what do you put it? You call them fringe players, and so for me, First Aluminium, yes. Alumaco, yes. Consistent performer in the last 3-4 years. Alumaco.
Information and communication technology. We have CHAMS, eTransact, IHS, MTech, MTI, and Starcoms.
With the exception of Starcoms, those other companies, CHAMS and Co, should I say these are companies to watch out for? Because as we invest more in technology, which is the way to go, they should naturally benefit. But you find out that the key technological businesses that are going out are not going out to most of these other companies. They are all to subcontractors. And you find the market needing some form of correction itself.
Another sector of the market that's just taking a beating, insurance.
I just left from a retreat with the insurance sector. I can't say much about it. It's just unbelievable. If you look in the last 3-4 years as well, you find that insurance stocks have always been the top and the losers, with the exception of 2010 perhaps. Every other 5 stocks in 2008, 1 stock in 2009, 2010 4 stocks, and there just seems to be nothing happening around them.